Every once in a while, there will be an anime movie that deeply resonates with my soul, truly speaks to and connects with me on a deeper level in which it makes me open my eyes to reality. And a simple movie about running did just that. Netflix's 100 Meters is nothing but a sensational film that talks about ambition, passion, your ups and downs, and whatever goal you're trying to pursue, and how to properly manage yourself through it all being represented by a moment defined by a couple of centimeters. With your life, all the time you sacrificed, all the physical exhaustion that you endure for these tiny moments of glory. That is what it means to run the 100-meter dash faster than anyone else. Within 100 meters, the race is not what matters to these characters. It's all about what the race represents to them individually. What it means to be the fastest, what it means to achieve one's goal, and are you able to break through your pain barrier? Are you able to break through your mental restraints? Are you able to open your eyes, understand what is around you, and face reality so you can escape from it to the reality you want to be in? No, a reality that you want to live in. 100 meters is a film that pushes its themes and ideals through the many perspective of our characters, the fall from grace, the rising star, and being overshadowed in the attempt to chase this glory. And out of the many characters that the narrative brought to us, they are used as a paintbrush on a canvas to paint the Mona Lisa, which is the overarching story that this movie is. Kaido is the character that spoke to me the most. So let's learn how to escape from reality. Time out, time out, time out. It turns out a little over 90% of y'all are actually not subscribed to the channel. Either if this is your first time watching me or have already seen a couple of my videos, if you like the content I put out, you should definitely subscribe. Now with that out the way, let's get back to the video. Out of all the major characters in this film, Kaido is introduced nearing the runtime of the entire movie with arguably the least screen time, but within his limited appearance, he made sure to leave as much of a lasting impact on the narrative itself. What he brought was so needed, so pure, so human that any watcher would naturally gravitate to the way that this character gave. So who is Kaido is what you should be wondering if you didn't watch the film, or you did but need a refresher. Kaido is forever second, as in the nickname he earned for always being behind his rival Zaitsu, the reigning champion, a person that always seemed to be a step ahead of him in all the races they competed across a 15-year stretch, a position of sitting at the throne that Zaitsu kept for all these years, never being challenged until now. But before we get here, we need to rewind back to Kaido's introduction in the movie in an interview he had while being watched by one of the movie's main protagonists, Togashi.
Hi, thanks everyone. Although it's true that I've been doing this for a while now, I still think that I'm in my prime. I've been striving to continue beating my personal bests every year, because there's one thing that I know for sure. Cold, hard reality won't get rewritten on its own. So this year, I'll deal with this reality, where Zaitsu's been sitting on the throne for too long. That's all I have to say.
Within this brief speech, you can tell a lot about this character. You can sense the hunger in his attitude while being grounded in honesty, as he speaks about himself and his failures of never beating Zaitsu, despite the fact that he does what he can to continue evolving, mastering his craft, beating the man he was yesterday, because he still thinks he has a chance to become the man he envisions tomorrow.
Although it's true that I've been doing this for a while now, I still think that I'm in my prime. I've been striving to continue beating my personal bests every year, because there's one thing that I know for sure. Cold, hard reality won't get rewritten on its own.
It was like Kaido himself were speaking to me directly as a person with my own dreams and expectations. The one thing that holds me back is the truth of the situation, that I'm always in the world itself. Despite my size and success as a YouTuber, for example, I've been shocked at my accomplishments so far while being disappointed in the setbacks I went through on this journey. I want to do better because I think I can do better. To work each day to reach this goal that may seem unreachable to many, but only accomplished by the few. But despite the chances I have, the reason I keep going is because of what Kaido said in his closing statement.
Because there's one thing that I know for sure. Cold, hard reality won't get rewritten on its own.
In this life, you have to work for what you want. You have to fight tooth and nail to achieve what you believe in, and with those sacrifices being valued in exchange for what you desire the most, whatever that is, the only thing that keeps you down is reality, the truth that currently exists within yourself, whether it's a fatal flaw or simply the circumstance you were born in or given. You have to be the one to overcome it. This is exactly what Kaido represents in the confines of this story. You have to ask yourself, what do you want? And are you able to work for it despite what the world thinks? Despite what the world world wants to remind you of. And if you don't like that reality of it, you can either accept it and be defeated, or you fight for the reality you want to live in. This interview led Togashi to formally speak with the veteran runner and have a conversation, seeking advice that could help him with his career and how he himself could deal with his reality.
How to deal with reality?
Yes.
There's only one way to do it. You just have to break records.
Thought you'd say that. But, well, it's easier said than done, sir.
That's no excuse. I never took you for a quitter.
I'm not saying I am. It's just, I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah, I get you. Well, I don't have a straight answer for that, Togashi. But I can share my story with you. Ever since I was a kid, I knew for a fact that I was talented. Running always came easy to me, and short distances were my specialty. I was the fastest in my region. I never lost a single race to anyone. Then I got my ass kicked for the first time at nationals, which only made me train even harder. It paid off. In my last year of high school, I nearly won at nationals. Then a first year named Zaitsu showed up. Since that day 15 years ago, I've been forced to keep on living this new reality. It's one where Zaitsu has always been one step ahead. A reality where I never win, and earn the nickname Forever Second. A reality where I keep aging by the second, while a new young gun named Komiya is rising to the top. Though he's not that young now. I'm sick of hearing that it's a shame that I wasn't born in another era. It's kind of funny. I'm just drowning here in this world that won't let me win. But it never deters me from trying to win because I'm confident I have a real chance to win the next one. Do you know why that is?
No?
Because you can escape from reality.
What?
If winning a race isn't possible for me here, then I'll just do all I can to escape this reality. And doing that means I still have hope for myself. It means that my attitude in life is to not give up on me. There might be other opinions out there, insights, truths too, even enlightenment getting thrown around. I only recognize my own. That's the duty I have to myself. My meaning in life, the reason I run. Listen, Togashi. As long as you understand why you run, then you can escape any reality you are in.
Kaido goes in depth about the shift in perspective caused by the reality he was facing. As a self-described natural talent in the sport of running, everything had always come easily to him. He felt a sense of security being at the top, never losing a race, never knowing the trenches of despair until he finally lost. This new truth didn't discourage him. Instead, it made him realize that he had to work even harder, and he did, almost winning nationals the following year. However, he managed to return to the position he had once placed himself in. In this new world, the other runners were actively competing against him, and his own ambition only fueled that competition. This harsh reality is embodied by the race itself, until Zaitsu showed up, the man who was always ahead of him, the man who constantly forced Kaido to live with the reality of being forever second. Now, with the arrival of Komiya, the movie's second protagonist and Togashi's childhood friend, it seems that reality continues to beat Kaido down even further. But does he give in? If reality is trying so hard to work against him, why does he keep fighting back? Isn't it pointless to try in a world where you know there are people who are simply better than you and there's nothing you can do to completely close that gap? No, it's not, and Kaido explains why in his conversation with Togashi.
I'm sick of hearing that it's a shame that I wasn't born in another era. It's kind of funny. I'm just drowning here in this world that won't let me win. But it never deters me from trying to win because I'm confident I have a real chance to win the next one. Do you know why that is?
No?
Because you can escape from reality.
What?
If winning a race isn't possible for me here, then I'll just do all I can to escape this reality. And doing that means I still have hope for myself. It means that my attitude in life is to not give up on me. There might be other opinions out there, insights, truths too, even enlightenment getting thrown around. I only recognize my own. That's the duty I have to myself.
If this goal you have, this deep desire you hold is so intrinsic to you as a person, despite what you really think, despite what other people have to say and what truth may exist, you owe it to yourself to find a way to live in the reality you want to have. When I look at content creation, it has been a dream I've held since I was a child, though I only found the courage to pursue it around 3 years ago. As you begin to venturing down a new path, you're quickly reminded of the obstacles standing in your way. For me, it was obvious that as someone who struggled with a speech impediment and Entering a niche that relies heavily on my ability to clearly communicate my thoughts and opinion will be my biggest hurdle. What Kaido is saying to people like me is that whatever flaws you possess are ultimately irrelevant if you recognize your potential to improve. Growth doesn't come from being naturally gifted, it comes from acknowledging your weakness and putting in the effort to overcome them. If it's not possible now in this reality, you simply have to work hard to exist in a reality where it is possible. To achieve what you want, you need to recognize where you're at and be honest, because that's how you properly escape it.
Until you understand your own reality, there's no way you can really escape from it. Standing with your eyes closed to reality is totally different from running with them wide open. Looking straight into reality can be extremely terrifying. You have to accept the things you don't want to accept. But if you truly want to reject any reality, then you must face it, head on, with your eyes wide open. If your eyes are closed, you can't run anywhere. You're just gonna stay standing still.
So many of us choose to avoid and ignore the problems in our day-to-day lives, pretending they'll go away on their own. Usually, we're not that lucky. When there's an issue or a problem, the best way to handle it is to acknowledge it and deal with it right then and there. That's one of the most basic principles of life. When life presents you with a reality you don't like, the only opportunity it gives you is the chance to face it head on. You have to run towards it with your eyes open, because if you run with your eyes closed, you will never get anywhere meaningful. You have to see the direction you're taking and accept the reality of the path ahead. Up until the championship semi-final race, it was Zaitsu, the current king, the up-and-coming rookie Komiya, and the perennial runner-up Kaido. The narrative surrounding the race had become centered entirely on one question: who was gonna win, Zaitsu or Komiya? Reality shifted once again, attempting to leave Kaido behind. Everywhere he looked, everyone kept asking the same question:
I'm pretty sure Zaitsu or Komiya is gonna win.
Zaitsu or Komiya?
Zaitsu or Komiya.
For the final time, Kaido himself asked that very same question, fully aware of what everyone else is saying, but in doing so, asking a question of his own.
Zaitsu or Komiya? Zaitsu or Komiya? Does this mean I'm not in the game?
Does this mean I'm not in the game? This is the line that truly touched my soul. Here we have someone, despite all his effort, feels like he's being held back by the very reality he's trying to escape. It seems like a losing battle, not against himself, but against fate. Is he always destined to end up like this? Is he destined to lose yet another race? Maybe, but he owes it to himself to try once again, show reality that it's wrong. During the championship semi-final race, Kaido trails behind Komiya and Zaitsu, exactly as everyone expected. In that moment, he fully understands his reality, but instead of accepting it as the end of his story, he realizes this is the moment he has to prove the world wrong. All of his hard work, every setback, and every painful lesson accumulated in one final push, not just to beat the other runners, but to overcome the truth that everyone else had accepted about him. Then it happens. Kaido sprint past both Zaitsu and Komiya, finally winning the race that no one knew he was even in. At that moment, Kaido escaped the reality that had defined him for so long, and finally stepped into the one he had always dreamed of living in. So I leave you with one question: are you ready to escape from reality and live the life you always dreamed of? Only you can answer that question, but one thing is certain: you owe it to yourself to try, no matter the odds stacked against you. My name's Taken, and we do a little reviewing around here. Thank you for watching, and peace out.